Quinshon Judkins will not be facing criminal charges. What does that mean for your fantasy football team? Joe Mixon's foot. There's rumors abounding about that. Let's find some answers.
It's Short King summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King summer.
All right, GM, everyone. How is everyone doing on this Friday afternoon? Apparently I can't pull the draft board up anymore. That's something I learned. They are doing some changes over on the Underdog Fantasy web application that might make things look a little bit different. For all of us, if you are a Sidekick user, you actually have to go back in and you have to undownload the site. I think the same is true for the Draft Caddy as well. You have to go in to the Draft Caddy and make sure that it is updated. Has anyone seen Isaiah Bond, Quinshon Judkins, or Deshaun Watson in the same room yet? All right, we are drafting at 2 here in Best Ball Mania. We will be adding a Bijan Robinson team to our queue, or maybe not. You never know. Sometimes you pull that 2 slot. Sometimes the one guy will be acting a little squirrely. There we go. Bijan Robinson. Again, I do think there is a legitimate reason to take a wide receiver there. I think there's a legitimate reason to take Lamb. I think there's a legitimate reason to take Jefferson, because when I come back up to this pick at 23, it's going to be a lot of wide receivers available, or a lot of running backs available for us, not a lot of wide receivers that we like. So I guess let's just go ahead and start with the Quinshon Judkins thing. I have moved Judkins up. This was my first adjustment, just eyeballing it. I moved Quinshon Judkins up to 88 positionally. That places Judkins right after Jordan Mason, Jalen Warren, Tyrone Tracy, Brian Robinson Jr., but ahead of J.K. Dobbins and ahead of where I have Joe Mixon. There's a lot of complex things going on with the Quinshon Judkins thing. The first one being, and I should be very clear about this, Quinshon Judkins has not avoided suspension. It is less likely that he has a lengthy suspension. It is less likely that he is on the commissioner's exempt list, but it is not 100% out of the woods. There are multiple instances of players having a legal battle or a civil case, or honestly, a legal thing that is thrown out that then leads to them being suspended. The best example of this is Ezekiel Elliott. Let me, Daily Rojo's right next to me. Let's see if Karain wants to stream. I'm going to see. He's drafting right now. I'm going to see if he wants to stream. He might be multi-tabling, but we'll see. So this is where I've landed with Judkins. There is still a chance of suspension, but obviously a much lower chance of suspension now. He is still a early down grinder back on what projects to be the worst team in football. Maybe the second worst team in football, depending on how you feel about the New Orleans Saints. Dylan Sampson has had the entirety of training camp to be ahead of him. Jerome Ford has been ahead of him. Jerome Ford, I think, is going to probably remain the passing down back regardless. Your outs, if you're a big Quinshon Judkins guy, are he's just him. You know, there certainly is a chance that Quinshon Judkins might just be him. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's possible. He was a very good runner at Ohio State, right? So he's got that out. We're going to do Bucky Irving. Well, no, we're going to do T. Higgins. Positionally, I think that makes a little bit more sense. He also could just, dang, Bucky went. Okay. Let's do Kyron, actually. Bijan Robinson, Kyron Williams, and T. Higgins. You also just have the out that Quinshon Judkins is just the guy you need in week 17, that he just scores a ton of touchdowns. Yes, if you are in the mini Dalmatian $1 drafts right now, you are going to be in there with me because I entered into 101 of those. Goodness gracious, dude. The white screen, unbearable. You're going to be in there. You're going to be in those drafts with me. I promise I won't be taking the clock. I am autoing those. Here you go. Little Dalmatian 2. Let's look at the first auto drafted team I have going. Lamar, McCaffrey, Tracy, Judkins, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, Emeka Egbuka, Brock Bowers. Fine team. All is life says that Joe Mixon is dead. Time to load up. And I don't know if Joe Mixon is dead. I've heard the same thing that everyone else has heard, which is that Joe Mixon has a foot injury. He had an off-season procedure on his foot, and his foot is not completely healed from this procedure. I've heard the same thing on Joe Mixon that everyone else has heard. Do I know if that means anything? Like, is Joe Mixon going to be out all year? Is Joe Mixon going to be healthy in week 1? I don't know. You don't know. The Texans don't know. Joe Mixon probably doesn't know. Impossible to say. Chief Matt asking, do you need a foot to play running back? It's really anyone's guess. So we have Bijan Robinson, T. Higgins, and Kyron Williams. I will say the 4-5 turn, where I am about to be picking here at pick 47 and at pick 50, is more interesting because additionally, I have moved Rashee Rice down with this suspension news to 63, right behind Emeka Egbuka, right ahead of Chris Olave. He's in there with Diggs, Debo, and those guys. Used to be a total smash, in my opinion, at the 4-5 turn, assuming that he would do the... I was assuming he would be suspended the first 4 games of the season, and that is no longer my assumption. I'm thinking we do probably get another Flock community contest on Underdog Fantasy today. Hope to pull one of those down. Would love to win the Flock Fantasy contest. All right, we got to lock in here. Trevion Henderson, maybe we do like a real funny... We could just do like a superhero, maybe a 4 running back team. Because Pickens would have been who I wanted. McLaurin is there. JMO is there. Jameson Williams, smiling face on the thumbnail. You know what? We're going to do it. We are going to take Trevion Henderson with Bijan Robinson and Kyron Williams, and we are about to... we're probably not going to take another running back until round 14 or 15 right now. McLaurin, please. So something I need to keep in mind is because I'm really hoping to get Joseph Burrow here at the next turn, is that I need to have stackable options. So, Waddle, very stackable, can get Tua whenever you want. So through 5 rounds, we have Bijan Robinson, T. Higgins, Kyron Williams, Trevion Henderson, and Jalen Waddle. I obviously don't construct a ton of my teams like this, but I do think it's a good idea. Like, Liam is pretty good about making this point, which is that you do want to have a different texture of your teams. You know, if you're going to be drafting 100 teams or 200 teams or 500 teams or 1,000 teams, you want to have some really heavy running back teams. You want to have some really heavy wide receiver teams. You want to have some Bowers teams. You want to have some McBride teams. You want to have some elite quarterback teams. I don't know if I would do what user Bzalt has done here, where he selected Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels. I suppose that is, what is that? That's the gritty build. Not a build that I would be pursuing a ton. So Rashee Rice goes at pick 54 in this draft to the 6-hole drafter, who has Jefferson, Chase Brown, Josh Allen, Breece Hall, and Rashee Rice. I don't think I can take him ahead of Calvin Ridley. I don't think I can take him ahead of Zay Flowers. And I don't think I can take him ahead of Travis Hunter either. We need to tell Pat that JMO was showing up ahead of Trevion in the sidekick. Seems like something that would make him sick. Well, he would immediately become unsick when he realized that it was because my rankings are in the sidekick and not the sidekick itself. Yes, the Gilbert Arenas build currently being built by Mr. Bezold. Wow, Rice at 95. That feels like free money. Is my biggest win this year so far that others have capitulated on JMO after you loving him at the beginning of the year and they were super low on him? Well, Mike, honestly, my answer would be this. There are no wins in the preseason. Underdog does not, to my knowledge, award any prizes in the preseason for closing line value on players. So I really am trying to keep my victory lapping and my happiness. Really, I'm trying to be at my lowest level of obnoxiousness in the preseason of all time. Unclear if that will be possible. I mean, I've got 2 more weeks left, or 3 more weeks left, I guess, of trying not to be obnoxious. All right, so we were able to get the services of Joe Burrow. Now, this is very painful. If I could go back in time, knowing that this would have been my selections at this spot, I would not have taken Kyren Williams. I would have taken Garrett Wilson, Tyreek Hill, or Marvin Harrison, because you're not really getting Pacheco and Pollard here at the turn all that often. Judy or Addison on this team? T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle. You know what? I'm going to take Jordan Addison because I'm going to have to make up volume on this one. And Jordan Addison has a much higher ceiling. I don't believe that this was a good team. I think this was a poor team to take the Judy medicine. And let me see if I can try and explain and see if you guys agree. So what Judy adds to this team is obviously just like some nice, stable production. But with T. Higgins as your wide receiver 1 and Jalen Waddle as your wide receiver 2, you are lacking real ceiling. And obviously Judy can accumulate a lot of volume, and accumulating volume is a great way to generate ceiling. But Addison gets all these dome games. He gets the nutted week 17 game. I think that adding Addison in there over Judy was the move. Yeah, I'm not saying I would never take Judy there, but it just felt like in this specific build. Also, another to put a hat on top of a hat there. I'm looking pretty thin at quarterback 2 on this team, and I will probably only do 2 quarterbacks with Burrow. And I like McCarthy better than I like Shadur or Flacco or whatever. I will never, under any circumstances, take the Judy medicine. A great reminder from Mwald here, because I just set in auto positional limits. Yes, do not forget to click your late round picks with my auto positional limits. Yes. Thank you, Mwald. You're a good man doing a good service here. All of the news of Rice, Judkins, Trevion, Mixon feels like you've got to hit the ultimate parlay on scooping values and hitting your fades in the perfect window. I mean, I disagree with that because it's a little bit of a misunderstanding as to how underdog best ball works. I mean, it's different everywhere. It's different in different scoring. But if those guys all are just middling performers in week 17, it does not matter. There you go. Joe Mixon goes at pick 92. Frankly, feels totally fine. I'm not doing it a ton there, but it feels all right. Man, my queue is absolutely sick right now. I definitely cannot take a running back. The thing, all right, so Jaden Higgins is honestly a little bit, that's a little bit of a gift for us there. The question we have to ask ourselves is, do we want to select one of these tight ends so that we can set up a 2 tight end team? I think the answer is yes. I don't want to take a running back here. I want to solidify my tight end stuff. It's either Mark Andrews or Rashid Shaheed. You know what? I'm going to do Mark Andrews on this team. Andrews versus Shaheed, pretty close there. Obviously, I'm still pretty far behind at wide receiver. But now that I have Joe Burrow at quarterback, and now that I have Mark Andrews, the tight end 7, I can get away with 2 tight ends. I can get away with 2 quarterbacks. I can probably take 9 or 10 wide receivers here. Yes. Yep. We will be doing a Drafters today. If you guys are not signed up over at Drafters, there is a promotion for this weekend where you can get a bunch of free tickets if you draft on Drafters this weekend. But yeah, we're going to be doing one a little bit later in the show. I just put the link in the chat. Eric asks, how do you evaluate risk versus stability in drafts? Are there team builds that you embrace more risk than others? There are definitely team builds where I'm going to be embracing more risk. This is one where I'm going to be embracing a ton of risk because I will probably only take 4 running backs, maybe 5 on this team. And I will need to be embracing much more upside at wide receiver. Admittedly, had no idea Judkins was in trouble and found myself 100% exposed through my first 6 drafts. Yeah, well, anyone who drafted him before was probably feeling very good. I think by and large, teams actually do have to disclose injuries in training camp. I can't think of very many guys where... Can you guys think of undisclosed injuries from training camp? Because I can't really think of a ton. All right, we have made 50% of our picks in this draft. We have the Joe Burrow, T. Higgins stack with Bijan Robinson, Kyron Williams, and Trevion Henderson. T, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Addison, Jaden Higgins, Mark Andrews. Judkins is still at the top of the sidekick. There he goes. He goes at 113. Influencer 101. Yes, if you get the 101, you select Jamar Chase. That's my opinion. I'm sure other people do it in a different way, but well, no, with CMC they told us, right? With CMC they told us he was injured. We didn't like what they had to say, but they did communicate to us that CMC was injured. Yeah, Laporta was back at practice today, I think. There you go. Jermaine Burton did have an undisclosed injury. I mean, I'm sure there are many cases of these undisclosed injuries. My brain is just not working. Okay, McCarthy goes. Man, I don't even really like Luther Burden, but this does feel like a good spot to select him. Actually, you know what? Man, what do you do? I am going to take Brandon Ayuk here. You guys are not going to catch me taking very much Brandon Ayuk. I don't even know how good he is going to be when he gets back. But on this type of team, he is almost necessary. Now, we could take Kirk, the slot demon, to offset what we just did. This is way too early for Stroud. We're going to take Christian Kirk. So we have 2 Texans wide receivers now. A lot of week 6 buys, but that's okay. So wide receivers of Higgins, Waddle, Addison, Jaden Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, and Christian Kirk. This draft is cooking along nicely. I think I have Burden ranked over Ayuk, but Burden is not, in my opinion, looking like he is going to have a great rookie year. And this is a legitimate question. Why don't you like Burton? I thought you'd Burden. I thought you did. So I like Burden as a player. Of course, I mean, I think Burden is a really strong player, but the coach speak around Luther Burden has not been great. So we got injured at minicamp, and Ben Johnson was talking about him yesterday, or this was actually like a couple days ago, and he said, he's nowhere near ready, which is not great. And Olamide Zaccheaus. So here you go. Bears beat writer Scott Bear writes, Olamide Zaccheaus has shown flashes every day of an excellent training camp. It's crystal clear that Zaccheaus has the coaching staff and Caleb Williams' trust. The Bears team released unofficial depth chart, which shows the team in base 12 personnel with Moore and Rome listed as starters. So basically, not only is Luther Burden potentially not even the third wide receiver for the Bears, he might be the fourth wide receiver to start the season, but they also might be running more 12 personnel than you would anticipate. So I think that is a legitimate reason to move Burden down. Now, does that mean you don't take Luther Burden? Of course not. But it's all it's all a price thing. That's all it is. I just think as these guys get more expensive, you just need to be a little bit. It's really all it is. You just need to be more cost sensitive with guys like Burden. Now, this is true. Olamide Zaccheaus is the most Olabisi Johnson-ass player of all time. A great point from Zach Lenars. All right, we will select Tua Tagovailoa with Jalen Waddle here. Their bye is what? Bye's week 12. Yep. All right, so we have our stacks confirmed and finalized there. That's pretty nice. Pop Douglas, very good selection for this team. So we have Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Bijan Robinson, Kyron Williams, Trevion Henderson, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Addison, Jaden Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Christian Kirk, and Demario Douglas. So we paid for Jordan Addison and Brandon Ayuk by selecting Christian Kirk and Demario Douglas. I am not worried about this. I am not worried about Xavier Hutchinson and Jaden Higgins in any way, shape, or form. There are several reasons for that. Probably the biggest one being that Xavier Hutchinson couldn't outproduce Jaden Higgins when they were teammates, brother. They played together at Iowa State in 2022. Well, this is not true. They were teammates together at 2022 in Iowa State. Oh, actually, never mind. That was before Jaden Higgins got there. That was when Jalen Knoll was there. I thought I just made a very cool and clever point, but it wasn't that cool and it wasn't that clever because it wasn't wrong. I do not think Olamide Zaccheaus is draftable. That would just be my opinion. Honestly, every team right now is kind of an Ollie Gordon-ass team. Yeah, the vibes from Miami don't seem great. Offensive line seems bad, but man, they have a lot of good players and a very condensed offense for fantasy football. Okay. I guess we are maybe into a range now where we could think about starting to take a running back. If we all knew CMC would be 100% healthy all year, his ADP would be 101. Don't even think it's much of a discussion. You know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to take Romeo Doubs on this team. I already got Demario Douglas as a chaperone. Honestly, Christian Kirk as a chaperone. And honestly, Jalen Waddle is sort of a chaperone style player, frankly. I still think Mike McDaniel is quite a good coach. That might be bordering on unpopular opinion these days. Do we get running? No, there's not really a running back that makes much sense. Let's do. Well, you know what? Let's do Chig Okonkwo as our second tight end. I know Chig is getting significantly more expensive, but I don't mind it. Man, wide receiver is so interesting because the prices just start to vacillate so rapidly. Could do Dante Thornton. I don't really like Dante Thornton. You know what? Let's do Jalen McMillan. That's another chaperone. That's also week 17 bring back, and that covers for Ayuk as well. So we're done with our onesies. Yeah, I would assume most people that you are going to be drafting against right now in the $1 contest on Underdog Fantasy are probably going to be autoing. All right, a 2-3-8-2. Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Bijan Robinson, Kyron Williams, Trevion Henderson, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Addison, Jaden Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Christian Kirk, Demario Douglas, Jalen McMillan, Mark Andrews, and Chig Okonkwo. We have 3 picks left to make. I'm going to take at least one more running back. Maybe 2. We'll see what the vibes are. I have replied to 1 email today. So here's $2. There you go. Copy paste dates is in a Dalmatian and no one's autoing. The problem with the Dolphins is that none of the players are replaceable in the offense and they're always hurt. Ain't that something? That's that right there. Those are wise words. Those are wise words. Yeah, we gotta sauce Crane. He did not DM me back, so I wonder if he's multi-tabling right now. What does old Crane have here? Gibbs, McBride, Wilson, Jamo, Devonta, Jennings. Oh, this will be funny. Hold on. I gotta screenshot this. Crane took Jamo, so I couldn't do it. That's so funny. In what world is Jalen McMillan a chaperone? In a world where Chris Godwin begins the season on the physically unable to perform list. Well, how the turntables at Pat Kerrane. Can I speak my opinion on Io Manor? Great play. Honestly, like a really good round 18 pick. Good bet on Cam Ward. Good bet on honestly, just a good bet on a talented guy. Canadian. I don't know about you guys. I always apply a little bit of a boost to a Canadian. I like Canadians. I don't draft very many 3 quarterback and 3 tight end teams, although I did just draft 101 of them in the $1 mini Dalmatian or little Dalmatian or whatever they call it on Underdog. Dang. Okay, 80 Mitchell went. That was really who I wanted on this team. Gosh darn it. That is a smidgen. That is a smidgen upsetting. Sidekick does not want a single wide receiver, basically. How do you come back from that? All right, we're going to do Coker. And then I'm going to take a running back of some variety. It needs to be a running back that does not have a week 5, a week 8, or a week 14 bye week. Will Shipley does not have any of those bye weeks. So there we go. We have one more pick to make. There is absolutely no logic. Absolutely no logic behind Canadian-born players getting a boost. I just like Canadians, bro. Haven't you ever seen me wear that Quebec hat? Some people, you know, sometimes you just have your biases and that's okay. Isn't that thumbnail a good picture of JMO? What wide receiver second round or later has a realistic shot to be wide receiver 1 this year? How about a guy who's finished wide receiver 1 multiple times? Tyreek Hill. I mean, isn't that just the answer? Tyreek Hill has finished wide receiver 1 twice, I believe. And goes in the 3rd round. I probably will not do any big eliminators. The thing that I liked about the thing that I enjoyed about the eliminator, the way they did it this year was the format. I thought it was so cool for it to be a bunch of head-to-head matchups. And the big eliminator went back to last year's elim style. So format not as cool for me. All right, we have one more pick to make. We have Joe Burrow and we have Tua. We have Bijan Robinson, Kyron Williams, Trevion Henderson, and Will Shipley. We have T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Addison, Jaden Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Christian Kirk, Demario Douglas, Jalen McMillan, and Jalen Coker. Frankly, we probably, what is the 10th wide receiver going to do? The 10th wide receiver is probably not helping us. So we probably do take a running back here. Honestly, a kind of cool strategy that I would be thinking here would be to take one of the Rams handcuffs and then I just have the Rams backfield all year long. Like Kyron in one of his handcuffs does feel pretty cool. Dang, Ollie Gordon went. He would have been another obvious candidate. I might do that. Honestly, I might take Corum. Maybe Manungai. Stuff has been pretty bearish for Roschon Johnson the last couple days. Shout out to Drew Dinkmeyer on that one. Keaton Missile would have been a good pick for this team as well. You can't get him in the 18th round. We're at Keaton Missile 177. Remember being able to get Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt in the 18th round? Yeah, I think I'm going to do Corum, actually. And just say, if the Rams are good this year, I've got their running back. All right, Blake Corum. I did it. I did the handcuff. All right, final team. Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Bijan Robinson, Kyron Williams, Trevion Henderson, Will Shipley, Blake Corum, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Addison, Jaden Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Christian Kirk, Demario Douglas, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Coker, Mark Andrews, and Chigakonkwo. That's a really good team, actually. 2-5-9-2. Beautiful. That I am loving to see. And let's go ahead and go hop into another Best Ball Mania draft, boys.
The Davis Maddock YouTube channel is made possible by viewers like you. Every subscriber, memby, and super chat goes to ensuring Davis doesn't have to work at State Farm. Thank you.
There we go. What draft slot are we gonna get here? Purple Yosh did 80 fast eliminators over the last week. Honestly, Purple Yosh, I gave up on that, and now I'm just in the slows. I think so. This is the most middle IQ opinion possible on the Rams backfield, but I think Corum is probably the clear handcuff to Kyron Williams, and I think that Jarquez Hunter is more likely to be the fill-in. Can we log in? Can I get to the draft board this way? Folks, show me. No draft board. No luck on the draft board, folks. Yeah. So I think Corum is the handcuff, and I think Hunter is more likely to be the pace and space, change of pace guy. That's what I think. Corum is to Missile and Hunter is to Hill. Yeah, that sounds about right. Underdog is not dropping the ball on draft board. They are just undergoing a what's the word? Like a cosmetic change. All that it is they are just chopping and changing some stuff with the way everything displays. All right, so we're gonna get Lamb or Jefferson on this team. Maybe we just take Barkley. Honestly, let's take Barkley, dude. No. Change my mind. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to take Jefferson. Would you take Malik or Nico or Puka in the PPR at the 12 spot? Well, shouldn't you be able to get two of them? So I would just take both of them. All right, Harbs is a big fan of the Eliminator format because he got third in it last year. Why was the mid-August rollout date for this? I mean, I would guess it probably was they didn't think this would happen. I would guess they thought it would be like clicking a button and it would just would just ship out. How many BBMs left? I think I've got 31 Best Ball Manias left. Herzig is drafting a lot of Barkley, so I've changed my tune a bit. Well, I believe Herzig mostly just drafts off of the ETR ranks, and I think they have Barkley 2. Yeah, AJB is nice. Whenever anything funky like this happens in your drafts, it's nice to get you a combo. I will say, if I would have known that this would have been a draft where funky things were happening, I would go back in time and take Barkley over Jefferson because it's more likely that I get a wide receiver that I like here. What do the colored badges mean? It's just how many drafts you've done on Underdog. So if you have a red badge, you've done a lot of drafts. If you have a black badge, you've done a lot of drafts, but not that many. And if you have no badge, you haven't done that many drafts. Wow, Xavier Worthy at 18. Guys, does this guy think it's the Super Bowl? Is this guy back to drafting a Super Bowl battle? Oh man, dude, we almost got Jefferson. We almost got Jefferson Henry. All right, I'm gonna take Ladd McConkey. I probably don't have that many combos of that guy. What pick did David Kitchen and I get for the NFFC draft? Let's go. My teams, football teams, online championship. We got the 6th pick. So that'll actually be great for content between David and I. Yes, if you guys didn't hear, we are doing a high stakes draft for the very first time in the history of the Swolecast Fantasy Football channel this afternoon at 4 p.m. Oh yes, thank you, Coolers. So Coolers and I are part of a cabal of dudes who play together on the Fantasy Football Players Championship. And we've started doing a slow draft, and I think the gang might have even done a fast draft last night that I was not a part of. And I need to, Coolers, I'm going to go in right now and go add myself as a co-manager to those teams because I realized that I was not getting the updates for them. Team. Edit team settings. Second owner, add Davis Maddock. Imagine locking Davis Maddock out as a co-owner. And we don't even have the Taylor Swift themed names on them yet. Should I just take Lamar? Okay, well, I guess I'm not going to take... You know what? I'm taking Josh Allen, bro. Trying to get more elite quarterbacks, and I did it. If I was going to do one high-stakes season-long league, which one would you recommend? I know FFPC and NFFC have a lot of options. That's a good question. I personally would recommend the RotoWire Online Championship, the 350 on NFFC, but you can't really go wrong. I mean, I think you should do whatever you would have fun doing. Yeah, Steph, you guys would never let me name teams after Taylor Swift albums. And that's sad for you. Because you guys will never know the joy of checking your fantasy football team and looking at a team named Folklore and having that win the league. Davis likes Canada so much because it has the most lakes in the world, and they invented pineapple on pizza. I do like pineapple on pizza. Hot take. 7-hole has done AJ Brown, Xavier Worthy, and Joe Burrow. That dude is living a little and living a lot. He's not just living a little. He's living quite a bit. We got to keep an eye on him because we do not want this draft to be canceled. Although I noticed they have sort of reduced the threshold of canceled drafts these days. We had one named Cruel Summer. It's true. Yeah, this one is not even close to getting canceled. Like if he but yeah, all right. I mean, he might think he's drafting a Super Bowl draft, but is something to keep in mind. Are there any Dipperinos that have popped up as a result of this guy drafting weird? Not really. We'll do. You know what? We'll do that. We'll do James Cook and Josh Allen together. We'll call this my Chess Liam special. So I need to take Brandon Ayuk on this one. I need to take Jerome Ford on this one. I need to take Dalton Kincaid on this one. Who else would we take on the Chess Liam team? I got a Gibbs St. Brown start. Dude, and imagine drafting a playoff best ball team right now. Yeah, I was gonna say if the Nick Vannett draft didn't get canceled, which it has not gotten canceled yet, this one should be 0%. Man, I can't take Jerome Ford though. Jerome Ford is like actually undraftable now. Drafting between Davis and this 7-hole. Yeah, you're gonna get some real values. August playoff contest is the same vibe as the big board during the NFC Conference Championship. All right. We are up. Dang. Ridley would have been a good pick here. DJ Moore would be a phenomenal pick here, actually. More likely to be a running back I like at 53. Although Pacheco went, who's normally someone I do take there. Metcalf goes. All right, I'll select DJ Moore. So through 5 rounds, we have Josh Allen, James Cook, Justin Jefferson, Ladd McConkey, and DJ Moore. Go to beat writer for the Chiefs. I actually kind of forget his name. Let me see if I can pull his handle up. I think it's PG Sweens. Yes, this fella right here, PG Sween. This guy is very good. Pete Sweeney, the editor-in-chief of Arrowhead Pride. That guy does pretty good work. No. I just have not had any time to do any college basketball tournaments. Then the guy just does a totally normal pick of Jalen Waddle. Oh, I moved Quinshon Judkins up to 88 in my rankings. I think like the 35th running back off the board, 33rd running back off the board for Quinshon Judkins. Maybe that was Cope, but what is the point of drafting Jerome Ford? I love this idea of like Jerome Ford was already cheap. Yeah, I moved Sampson down to 1 something. I moved Dylan Sampson in my rankings to 172. And I could be convinced to move him back up a little bit. That was just kind of my first blush because I didn't have any ADP or anything to go on it. I probably autoed Judkins in 90% of your Dalmatian drafts. Huh? Well, so goes it. Is Alvin Kamara available? What? Alvin Kamara at 68? How did that happen? Is someone else drafting weird too? I guess the wide receivers are just pushed up a little bit. Okay, so I definitely am glad that we took Jefferson round 1. Justin Jefferson, Lad McConkey, Josh Allen, James Cook, DJ Moore, and Alvin Kamara. We are cooking with some gasoline. Yeah, Ken Walker went 62. Dang, dude. Can we get an... Oh, woo! You didn't miss anything. This one guy is just drafting kind of squirrely here. Man, don't let me take DeAndre Swift, brother. DeAndre Swift is like definitely the pick. Or I guess I could just take Shakir. Yeah, Shakir's fine here. Don't love it. Whatever. Shakir, yeah. Okay. Whatever. Khalil Shakir, pick 77. It's not great. I think this is totally fair to just take Coleman when Shakir comes up. Knowing the info we have now, do you wish you used more bullets of BBM in July? No, I'm happy with the progress and the way in which my teams have gone thus far. I have nothing. I don't really have any complaints. I feel like I've drafted a bunch of really good teams. Yes, AD Mitchell has been pushed up a little bit. I moved him up a lot in my rankings. Not that I actually have been drafting AD Mitchell the whole time because I'm a huge slappy. Well, I'll tell you, if I have a lower advance rate than I did last year, I think it's almost got to be like a statistical impossibility for me to advance fewer teams than last year. I guess it could happen. Like, I guess if like 80% of Derrick Henry teams advance, then I could have a lower advance rate. Man, I just do not. I guess we're taking Keon Coleman. I could take Judkins here. I don't really want to, though. Yeah, I'm going to try and push that one more round. Take Michael Pittman Jr. over Keon Coleman. I don't think you actually want to double stack Mahomes that much. I took 0 of Judkins in the 100s, but I feel like I played the process correctly. I had 21%. Yeah, that's probably right. Everyone thinks their teams are good. You picked them. You know, I don't think my teams are that good. They're fine. Yes, I already have James Cook. Thank you. I think that was a good call to not take Keon there. Yes, Isaiah Bond did sign with Kansas City or the Cleveland Browns last year. If you get 2 top running backs, your advance rate goes way up almost every year. And I would guess that's not true, honestly. I would guess it's much more about getting a wide receiver locked in. Dobbins goes. Yeah, dude, I think this is going to be, honestly, maybe one of the first times I've clicked Quinshon Judkins in Best Ball Mania. If it does indeed end up being Judkins, it might honestly maybe Mark Andrews. It's Judkins or Andrews. We'll do Judkins. 9th round, pick 101. Yeah, I do know Fantasy Wizard. Fantasy Wizard advanced more than 50%. He advanced like 70% of his teams and had 0 teams in the semifinal. Not even the final. 0 teams in the finals. Isn't that crazy? Bill Simmons says he'll be surprised if Trevion Henderson has a worse rookie season than Jahmyr Gibbs. I might be surprised at this point. Trevion Henderson is the man. What do you honestly? What do you think? Yeah, dude, you can have my channel. Yes, all the hard work I've done. Yep, you could just have it. All right. Josh Allen, James Cook, Alvin Kamara, Quinshon Judkins, Justin Jefferson, Lad McConkey, DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, Michael Pittman Jr. This team sucks, actually. Is that the most limp running back room of all time? Maybe I just need to change my mental calibration for Judkins. But I just hate that running back room. Oh, man. Okay, I was really hoping for Charbonnet here. What am I thinking for second quarterback? I guess it's just McCarthy. Or this could be like a Geno backdoor. This could be... actually, let's do... I'm gonna try and execute this strategy. I'm going to try and do Kraft and Love. We'll see if anyone behind allows it. It's true, dude. You do a little Bichelle Tootin sprinkle on top of your running back room. Honestly, Paulinho, you're so right. The team is fine. I do just actually, honestly, I do hate the Bills. I really do. Okay, do you guys know who Brett Coleman is? He's this big YouTuber. And he just did this video about the Buffalo Bills. Oh, McCarthy went 4 rounds ago to the rando drafter. Honest, shout out to you, dude. Heads up. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Walter, do not ever tell me to take Cooper Kupp, bro. He said Roshan and AOC would be good. Hey, Roshan was okay. Well, the story was not even related to Brett Coleman, but he just did a Buffalo video the other day. And I was just like, God, I just hate these dudes. All right. Give me Jordan Love. Yeah, bang. There we go. Done at quarterback. Josh Allen, Jordan Love, James Cook, Alvin Kamara, Quinshon Judkins, Justin Jefferson, Lad McConkey, DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, Michael Pittman Jr., and Tucker Kraft. Oh, it could have been an Anthony Richardson team. Could have been. Thoughts on Kupp seem low on him, wondering why. He sucks. Well, he doesn't suck. He's just old. 35 BBMs and you have 0 JMO? Dude, come on, bro. I need you to get serious. Man, I would be drafting Savion, but while all these other dudes are banged up, he has also been banged up. Savion Williams has also been injured. So it's not seeming great. Sounds like it is he had a leg sleeve on while sitting out of practice, and it's I guess here's an unconfirmed injury. It's either a hamstring or a groin. All right. Am I going to have to take Dalton Kincaid? This is going to end up being a Dalton Kincaid team. Nothing worse than being forced. I'm not taking Josh Palmer, dude. I have to look at myself in the mirror in the morning. Andrew Cooper gave a stat that for 13 consecutive years, a tight end drafted tight end 18 or later has finished as top 5 any candidates this year. Well, it won't be Dalton Kincaid. Best candidates, Chigga-Conquo, Jatavian Sanders, Juwan Johnson. Those are my guesses. Yeah, Marshawn Lloyd is draftable. Honestly, could have just done Goddard. Okay, here's the thing about Dalton Kincaid. If you don't at least have 4% of Dalton Kincaid, you are going to have to live in a world where if Dalton Kincaid smashes, Liam is going to dunk on you every day of your life. Do you want that? I think you might need to get 8% of Dalton Kincaid just to not let Liam slam dunk on you. You don't want Liam to dunk on you. No one wants that. So you got to get some Kincaid bags. It's an absolute must if you don't want Chess Liam to dunk on you. Lloyd is back, honestly. Lloyd sounds like the stuff is going very well for Lloyd at training camp now that he has been activated. Could do Hollywood here. Hollywood I like. There's really not a running back worth taking. We can embrace a little bit of variance here. Hollywood, so there was a good quote from Andy Reid the other day about Hollywood, but basically made it sound like he's trended very much so in the right direction with his foot injury. Honestly, I've never really heard anyone explain it like this, but I think you're right. Liam does have some kind of cosmic ability to speak things into existence. Yes, Hollywood is currently injured, but let me see if I can pull this quote up from Mr. Coach Speak Index. All right, Andy Reid on Hollywood. It's not really a high ankle sprain. It's more of a foot ankle area. He's making great progress. He's running. So that's a positive. I don't think he's too far off. What we'll see, he's doing good. How are you dealing with massive fallers? No, I think probably like the worst thing to do is to buy the huge fallers in best ball. I'm trying to, I think a lot of the times you want to let the massive fallers fall. Like Judkins, bad example. I was letting Judkins fall. I've been letting Mixon fall. All right, we're up. We'll do Bill Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt as a way to offset some of the age there. Nick, be serious, dude. What do you win when you win with Romeo Dubs? How much in entry fees do you get for an best ball? I don't know. For me, it'll probably be about $15,000. Yeah, see, like Tajay is like literally, what's the point, dude? You're not getting anything. Not too far off from Andy Reid basically means he's relearning to walk right now. Yeah, I have Jordan Love. The Jordan Love breakout is Romeo Dubs gets his ass on the bench for Matthew Golden. All right, here you go. Live a little, dude. 80 Mitchell. Don't you know Josh Downs has a hamstring injury? Yeah, 15K does not count season long. If you start to include season long, it gets absolutely out of control. What you have to know is that a ton of these entries come from site credit and I'm like all these main event teams, they're all split. Like I'm not just spending $2,500 on a fantasy football team. I know some people do, but I don't have it like that. Just drafted on DK this morning. I just recorded two great videos with JJ Zacharyson this morning for DraftKings Best Ball Week. Yes, I have. I got underdog stuff. You guys can check the YouTube shorts or my Twitter or my Instagram. That's where all the preseason stuff will be. I am not taking Miles Sanders on this team. I tell you what, I am done with Miles Sanders. Is Shipley here? No, he's gone too. Blake Corum. Sure. I panicked. That was panic. That was pure panic right there. The Miles Sanders stuff has just been super bearish. I have not taken any Musgrave. Yes, Paige Buckets. That's the girl. Man, she is having a crazy rookie season. She's really good. No team has ever called out for Christian Watson round 18. That's not true. Yeah, I just my Sanders exposure got real high. The Sanders news. Did you guys not see this quote? It's oh god, it's gonna take me forever to find it. Basically, the Miles Sanders bit is he's like the running back 4. I would take Shuck. Is he back at practice? Last thing I heard, his knee was banged up. Yeah, last thing I heard on Miles Sanders was his knee. Man, you can't even get Isaac Tesla in the 18th round anymore. You can't have anything in this economy, dude. All right, Marshawn Lloyd team, boys. Okay, he's playing tomorrow. Well, we'll be getting some good information on Miles Sanders tomorrow then. I mean, honestly, shouldn't they just give him veteran rest though? Honestly, Jaden Blue is obvious. Yes. I can't find it's hard to do when I'm on stream and I don't save these things. But basically the quote, honestly, the quote on Miles Sanders was really similar to the quote on Javonte about, you know, he's bringing wisdom and experience. Yeah, but he's competing to make the team. You know, the same way that honestly, the same way that like Royce Freeman was. Hey, man, Miles Sanders still could be a smash, Nick. You don't know. All right. 2-6-7-2, Josh Allen, Jordan Love, James Cook, Alvin Kamara, Quinshon Judkins, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Blake Corum, Marshawn Lloyd, Justin Jefferson, Ladd McConkey, DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, Michael Pittman Jr., Hollywood Brown, A.D. Mitchell, Tucker Kraft, and Dalton Kincaid. Frankly, I think a third tight end is actually fine on this team. Mike Gesicki still available? Yeah, I'll click Mike Gesicki as the third tight end on this team. All right, final Best Ball Mania team. Josh Allen and Jordan Love, James Cook with Josh Allen, Alvin Kamara, Quinshon Judkins, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Blake Corum, and Marshawn Lloyd with Jordan Love, Jefferson, Ladd, DJ Moore, Shakir with Josh, Pittman, Hollywood Brown, A.D. Mitchell, Tucker Kraft, Dalton Kincaid, and Mike Gesicki. All right. Let's do one more. How many do I have left? I have 30. After this, I will have 30 Best Ball Mania drafts left. All right, we are drafting at the 11 hole, so we'll have slightly different texture to this one. I still take Wicks every once in a while. The fan and bet. The fan and bet is not that hard to do. All right, so we should be able to get to do more of a true zero running back team on this one. Starting to see plenty of no Badgers head into the rooms. Why do you think that Golden nullifies Dubs and Reed, but Savion doesn't fully nullify Wicks? Because I am a man of complexity. I'm a man of thought, but also very little integrity. Pepper Tony. Yes, yeah, it's this. I mean, it's the same thing I've been saying about Mixon. He had an off-season foot surgery that has not healed. Everyone knows this. It's just everyone in fantasy content knows it, but no one knows who the actual source is. We're all hearing it like second, third, fourth hand. So no one will put their whole chest into it and say Joe Mixon is not playing this year. I can't believe JJ mimicked Fannon's duck feet in front of his mom. All right. So one of Neighbors, Puka, or St. Brown here. Happy to do that. Yeah, everyone's all heard the same thing. This is not a slappy doctor thing. This is back channel information thing. But like I heard this information about Mixon like legitimately, honestly, probably fourth hand. Like someone told someone who told someone in fantasy circles who's now telling fantasy analysts. Little Neighbors A-chain start, never hurt nobody. Dude, I wish I had time to play FPL, Michael. Oh, dude, the game starts in what, 20 minutes? No, and it starts in 90 minutes. I have to set my my lineups. Sitting out the entire offseason is actually a good thing, guys. Yeah, that's what I've heard. That is what I've heard. Oh, boys. Soccer is back. You do love to see it. Yeah, exactly. I always quit too because there's just never enough motivation to do it. I wish you could play FPL for money. Like I wish there was like FPL like high stakes leagues or something. I would love. Wow. You got your World Cup tickets already. I mean, that's not that far away. We are what? We're like 10 months away from the World Cup. Man. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess I need to get my ear to the ground for that. I watched the first season of that documentary, but I root for Aston Villa is my EPL team. Honestly, the Mixon rumor is very similar to this. It's similar to the childhood rumor about Marilyn Manson having ribs removed so he could perform a sexual act on himself. I mean, I assume Pulisic will be playing in the World Cup. America gets a free entry. I would rank them Brees, Walker. I don't know. It's pretty close. I would say those dudes are all the same. Flip a coin. Wow, a fellow Villa fan. That's what I'm saying, bro. Dang. All right, I'll be boring. And just take Mike Evans here. Houston did sign a running back. You might have heard of him. His name is Nick Chubb. All right. We'll do. You know what? On this one, let's do Pickens. Balance out that Jakar tree. Yeah, my mic is it's getting old, boys. It's on its last legs, I think. Might be having to get a new one. I got pick 14 in a 14-man full PPR 0.5 completion league. 0.5 completion. I wouldn't even begin to know. How many completions do you get in a game? Let's see. Okay, what it Mahomes completions a game. So if he completed 392 passes divided by 16, 24. So 12 point. I don't know. Take a good quarterback, I guess. Well, I said let's do Pickens on this one because the worthy bag is very loaded. My temperature on Brees is warmer than your average fantasy football tout, probably. I still like him. This mic is very nice. It's just old. This is like a $500 microphone. It's just very old. Soccer Dave bought this microphone for me when I was in college, and I'm a 32-year-old dad now, if that gives you a sense of how old this microphone is. $69 likes is crazy low, actually. No, the Texans backfield is going to be Nick Chubb as the early down guy, Woody Marks as the passing down guy. Little bit of Dare Ogunbowale in there. Does that mean that what's his name? Nick Chubb is a good pick? Honestly, I couldn't say. Probably not. Probably not that good. Someone just liked my tweet, and their Twitter name was Jacory Krosky Ferret, which is just a very, very funny Twitter username. All right, let's do Harvey here. Yes. New member, ACBDNB. Thank you for joining Slappy Central. Hope to see you in the Discord. It's been on and popping recently. Okay, Pearsall went. I'll take Igbuka. Pack those bags. Double stack the Buccaneers. With what's come out of camp, would it surprise anyone if Chubb got cut and they ran Pierce until Mixon is back? I mean, dude, Dameon Pierce is just... At least they don't have the zone running anymore. But Nick Chubb... I mean, is any coach going to put Nick Chubb on the bench for Dameon Pierce? I don't know. Pepper Tony gifted a membership and then claims it's rigged that he didn't win it. Because Pepper Tony, for some reason, has a branded YouTube account. We are going to do one final elite or delete before the season. It just look, there are 366 people watching right now. If we were doing if we were doing elite or delete, there would be 117 people watching. And those would be 117 of the coolest, best people in the world. But it wouldn't be as nice. Got a 5th round Brees in BBM yesterday. Hell yeah. Hope you have the shipper, bro. Yeah, we could do exposures. We can do shitter teams. We'll do one more big boys only day, basically. I would rather watch Elite or Delete than go to therapy. What teams would trade for Brees? I don't know. Plenty of them would, I think. Yeah, to be fair, elite or delete content probably does suck if you're not submitting teams. My diversification is very similar to this. I don't have very many players over 20%. All right, I need to move Josh Downs a little bit with this hamstring injury. Let's take Jalen Warren, and then we'll just, you know what? I'm just going to get it out of the way. I'm not going to try and push Baker. Where's Godwin? Godwin hasn't been picked yet. What do we think, boys? Do I try and push it? Push it for what? What? Do I really need Tyrone Tracy that bad? I'm not pushing it. I'm going to take Baker Mayfield. Got the Devin A-Chain run back there. Yeah, take him now. Yeah, that was the move. Never submitted a team, but enjoyed elite or delete. Yeah, it's got its time and place. Yeah, did you guys see that? I did literally just click on Mahomes' name. Maxed BBM, the DK Millie, and the Eliminator need this money to come back at Christmas time, or my girl is leaving. I wish you six figures, brother. Michael Pittman Jr. Yeah, I mean, Michael Pittman Jr. is walking into 140 targets. Wow. Ben Weaver 940 gifts 5 Membies. WWW, brother. Thank you, Ben. That's good karma right there. That's good karma. Ben Weaver setting himself up for a shipper. Michael Pittman is like Michael Pittman's like 25-year-old Adam Thielen somehow or something. Like, people think Pittman is a chaperone. He's one season removed from a 1,000-yard season. The Colts with Flacco playing some games last year had 513 passing attempts as a team. Pittman would have to have a 28% target share to hit 140 targets. Well, depends who the QB is. If it's Richardson, no one's getting that. I'm not taking Judkins on this one. I know I have him ranked here, but I do not want 97% exposure to this guy. So I'm going to take Tyler Warren or Evan Ingram with... Actually, you know what? I'm going to take Zach Charbonnet with this pick. Dude, who slurped all my Dipperino? Michael Pittman is kind of Jarvis Landry-y. Yeah, I would be falling all over myself to get Michael Pittman Jr. on the Chiefs, for real, bro. How many Slappy the Seal shirts? I think 7 of them sold. We'll do Tyler Warren. I believe there are 7 7 Slappy the Seal shirts sold. If you guys haven't seen them, they are pretty cool. There you go. Number 8 inbound. That's my boy Greg. Who is this year's Myles Gaskin? Well, Harbs, that could go in several directions, Harbs, because that could be Myles Gaskin the year he broke out, or Myles Gaskin the year he was like a 6th round pick and totally bag fumbled. If I saw someone wearing a Slappy the Seal shirt, I'd avoid that individual. Where do you buy that one? I believe it should be displayed directly underneath the YouTube video you are watching. But if not, here you go. Here's the link. If any of you guys are interested in wearing the blind seal, the Slappy seal is right there. The blindest seal. Surely the only person in the state. Who's this year's Carson Steele? Probably Brashard Smith. There was a mug. There's not a mug anymore. I think I could probably get a mug hooked up, Charlie. Think we could get a mug. The issue, okay, so the issue with the mug was that for whatever reason, the when I would put the mug on the store, it wouldn't display the logo. You could only see it from the side. I don't know what was going on. Mug stickers and mouse pads. Do people still do mouse pads? I don't ever have a pad underneath my mouse. It's just on my desk. I will do, tell you what, I will rub my heads together with Lenar's, and we will get a couple things added into the merch store. I'm going to take Keenan Allen. That's a guy I'm trying to add some more of the bags to. We'll do Keenan. Ferguson honestly does make some sense on this team. Goddard makes some sense on this team. Slappy the Seal plush seal. That's crazy, dude. All right, let's do yeah, you know what? Let's do Jake Ferguson. And we're going to this might be a Richardson team. This will probably be a 3-quarterback team. Yes, I am buying the Toporino. Me personally, buying the Toporino on Keenan Allen. Karain and Jacob Sanderson disagreed with me on that, but I disagreed with them. There is no top. The answer sheet is exactly what it sounds like. It is literally just a color-coded guide for redraft fantasy football leagues. Green is good, yellow is fine, red is bad. Probably could have my wife draft a fantasy football team off the answer sheet. Slappy the Seal driver head covers. Imagine you go to meet up with you go to the golf course, you go to hole 1, and the dude pulls off a Slappy the Seal a blind seal driver head cover. Incredible stuff. 100 IQ, buying the top on Keenan, 200 IQ, buying the bottom on KLS. That Harbs knows so much ball, it's painful, bro. That man, he knows. Slappy the Seal putting markers. You know, it's a wide world out there. The possibilities are endless. All right. Do we do a Nick Chubb team? What's his ADP? Yeah, let's take Nick Chubb, bro. If we think that if we think Mixon's done, shouldn't we just be piling in the Chubberino? Accidentally becoming a merch thousandaire. I'm buying a Slappy the CLT and wearing it to SeaWorld. Dude. Nick Chubb at 155. That's buying the Topperino. Did I see the Nick Chubb breaks 4 tackles house call? I did not. I really did not. Do we do Tua double stack this game? Geno backdoor. Yeah, let's try a Geno backdoor. Oh no, I didn't click it. Oh, I got Tua anyways. Okay, well whatever, that's fine. My fingers were not nimble there. Honestly, dude, this is so true. I am such a buy high, sell low type of guy. It's honestly, dude, you've never been more accurate about this. Broncos, Bryant, Vele, or Franklin? None, neither. Those are like some of my least favorite picks available. Pierce could benefit from a better scheme, but yeah, Matt is right. Taking a bunch of running backs, taking a bunch of any running back on a team with this terrible offensive line seems bad. Yeah, that's the thing that no one seems to particularly highlight about the Houston situation, is that there is going to be no running lanes for these boys at all. Yeah, imagine asking the Mims. Although I don't have that much Mims either. I don't think any of them are really that good. No, I don't have ED1 over 25%. Okay, so we are at Baker Mayfield and Tua Tagovailoa, Devin Achane, RJ Harvey, Jalen Warren, Zach Charbonnet, Nick Chubb, Malik Neighbors, Mike Evans, George Pickens, Emeka Egbuka, and Keenan Allen. This one's shaping up pretty good. It does, honestly, yeah. Slurping the Dipperino does make you feel so smart. Just doesn't get you anywhere. Yes, there is a ton of data on the best times of year to draft. It's all in the Best Ball Manifesto over on Established Run. Wasn't really a good nerdy voice. Davis becoming a flat exposure guy is so depressing. You die young or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, Corey. Spark notes on that: draft early and draft late. Those are the spark notes. All right. There you go. Derby thinks the market is inefficient right now. Derby thinks the market is inefficient because I'm about to select. Actually, I'm going to take Dart on this team with Neighbors. I think we're good with 2 tight ends. So we got Jay Dart. And is Slayton available? Slayton is available. Do we do Slayton? And actually, I'm going to take Tesla. Dude, your first, you're last. The market was always inefficient. You ever think about that, bro? You ever think about the fact that the market has always been inefficient? Bet you haven't. All right. What are we going to close this one out with positionally? We have a 2-5-6-3, so probably 1 running back, 1 wide receiver is how we're going to finish this one out. 15th round Jackson Dart. What are we doing? Let me tell you, dude. If you really think there's a big difference in cost between the 18th and the 15th round, you're a better man than me. There's no point. It's all the same. After like the 13th round, it's literally all the same. Oh man, have you guys seen how terrible the new RotoWire website is? I've not been on the RotoWire website in forever. It was even more inefficient until the nerds ruined our beautiful game. It's true. Will I ever go back to high exposure player takes? Probably not, honestly. I think it's unlikely. It's just too hard to win, bro. Because even if you're right in the regular season, it's just so easy to be wrong. In fact, it probably is just strategy-wise the wrong thing to do in the playoff weeks. Yeah, Greg George burned me. Exactly. So this is the bigger thing, actually, about taking Jackson Dart in the 15th round, is that so many guys whose ADP in the 15th and 16th round are just, like, unclickable. Like, DeAndre Hopkins, Jalen Wright, Austin Eckler. Like, not that they're unclickable, but they just don't feel like good clicks in any way, shape, or form. Is this true that my week off from streaming was the worst week to do? That's so funny. All right, we're going to do Sean Tucker, add on to that, and we need one final wide receiver. Coker, Royals, Besh, Naylor. I think Ollie Gordon could certainly be running back too. Ollie Gordon could score a bunch of touchdowns. Or Theo Johnson. You know what? I'll give the sidekick this one. 3663. Baker Mayfield, Tua Tagovailoa, Jackson Dart, Devin Achane, RJ Harvey, Jalen Warren, Zach Charbonnet, Nick Chubb, Sean Tucker, Malik Neighbors, Mike Evans, George Pickens, Emeka Egbuka, Keenan Allen, Isaac Tesla, Tyler Warren, Jake Ferguson, and Theo Johnson. Let's head over to Drafters. Let's head into a Drafters main event. Your draft will begin when 11 more join. Perfect. Gives you guys plenty of time to come over and hop in with me on Drafters. Drafters is a proud sponsor and friend of the channel. So come and hop in. Promo code Davis will get you $100 in deposit funds, and they're doing a flash draft this weekend. So if you do 5 fast drafts this weekend, you get a free $20 ticket. So if you deposited $100 right now with code Davis, you'd get 10 free entry, or you get 5 free entries, and then you would also get another ticket. So you'd pay for 5 entries, and you'd get 6 free. So buy 5, get 6. All right, boys, what do we think? Who is going to take corner kicks for Liverpool today? That is the question. Is it going to be Kirkez? Is it going to be Florian Wirtz? Key question that we have to ask ourselves. Buy 5, get 1, but you get the deposit bonus. Historical question: how did UD and DK handle the Bills cancel game? I mean, they did it the same way the NFL did it. The game never happened. I can't remember from the Com Shield game. I failed you. Yeah, like so. Okay, so here I'll go to ProFootballReference.com. So let's go to Josh Allen. What year was that? Was that 2022 or 2021? It was 2021, right? Bills, Bengals. I can't remember. 2022? Yeah, 2022. So that game just doesn't exist. If you go in here, this is Josh Allen's player page. So 2022 Bills goes from week 16 to week 18 because the game just never happened. No official recorded statistics from that game. Underdog gave stats. Okay. That could be it. I mean, I don't remember. All right, we got to lock in. Oh, I forgot to play the. All right, we are picking at the 11 slot in this draft. The drafters promos are pretty good. I would say that the drafters promos are honestly probably better than the DraftKings. Yeah, I actually am going to disagree with you here, and I'm a hashtag DK partner as well. But the I would say the drafters promos are probably better. You're gonna get more back from the drafters promos than you will from DraftKings. Have you ever had trouble depositing on drafters? I have not. I'm gonna take Devin A. Shane here. If you trouble, I was charged, but my funds weren't put in my account. It could be. I believe drafters is based in Canada, so that it could be something with your bank, Mr. Shrimps. BTJ, there you go. It's a good start. Drafters promos are goated. Just gave last week new deposit bonus match up to 200, and they have all the milestones for entries. Yeah, the big ones are the weekend promos. There's a small delay before the fun show. Yes, drafters has in-season stuff. Not like salary cap DFS. It's like in-season drafts. But yeah, they do have in-season stuff. Unclear how much I will have time to participate in the in-season stuff, but I know that they do have in-season things. Well, if DraftKings has lots of promos, so if they have not given you anything, that's on you. Because DraftKings has tons of like flash bonuses, and they have rake back as well, just for everyone who participates. Yes, the parentheses in the name indicates how many drafters main events you've done. Yeah, full rake on the DraftKings main is $528.40. Mr. Crutches has already generated $601.27, including the $300 for when I max. Yeah, that's user error. Yeah, yes, if you draft Troy Hilton. Do you mean Troy Hilton? Who is Troy Hilton? I thought you were going Torrey Horton there. No, I would guess you're not paying attention to your app. I truly, and everyone gets the $500 back. Troy Bolton. All right, so we have the running back wide receiver start here. You know what? This is a very fun format for elite quarterback. Because you just get to eat all the. I wonder if Josh Allen was on the winning team last year. The ADP rise on drafters for Trevion Henderson and Demario Douglas this week is wild. Braylon Allen and Tootin as well. Yeah, okay. Makes a lot. Yeah, makes a lot of sense for Burrow to be on the winner. Actually, it's a good point. Baker and Lamar. Yeah, I mean Baker makes a ton of sense. Burrow and Baker. Yeah, two of the absolute biggest league-winning guys. I mean, that's the funny thing about doing these marathon drafts is it actually is much more of the style of drafting that people say they like, which is just drafting the league-winning guys. I would say drafters is actually, yeah, Walter. I would say drafters probably is slappier than UD because it is mostly hardcores on drafters. Would you rather bank an early season DFS slate or a UD tourney? For sure UD, just because it's better for my brand. I'm gonna do Ken. That's an expensive price on Ken Walker, but I'm fine with it. Dude, if a lead quarterback makes sense in this and Burrow is on the winner, then Jake, does that make Trey Harris a good pick? You tell me, brother, is Trey Harris a good pick? Oh, Xavier Worthy, dude, crazy. I would have taken Lamar if he would have gotten there. I know that's obviously a reach. Guy won last year. Oh, Geno too. Guy won last year with Burrow. Well, I've gotten multiple stories now. Someone said Burrow and Baker. Someone said Lamar. And now this dude said Burrow, Geno, Darnold. So I need the truth. Yes, Burrow was a lot cheaper last year. Fun stream you should do before the season. Review your 150 BBM teams. Gosh, I mean, conceptually, yes, I agree. That does sound like fun, but that would take forever. And I think, honestly, I think it would get boring. It sounds fun, but I think that's something that sounds more fun in practice than in actuality. Yeah, I was going to say, that seems like fun to other people. 10 best teams, a lot better. Yeah. Deleting your own teams. I mean, a lot of them suck. Could review the meta of the 150. That makes more sense. Yeah, who could forget Gatorade Bottlegate? I certainly could not forget it. What a time and place that was. Dude, he can't even pick up the Gatorade bottle. It's so over. Yeah, PD is a real one. The guy who made BBMDB to track the sweat. Yep, he's a good dude. Whew. All right. A-Chain, Walker, BTJ, Worthy. All right. Okay, I was going to say, no chance are we getting Trevion. Weird Sutton fall here. I'd take Hunter on this team. I take Pearsall on this team. Now, Rashee Rice, what does Rashee Rice do? If I guess on drafters, the time frame of the games he misses matters a lot less. It's just the total number that he misses. Like 4 games, he's a win. 6 games, it's probably loss. 8 games, it's a horrible L. Let's go Harvey. God, we have a nice little theme going here. Running back, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back, and then I'm going to take Pearsall or Diggs here, I think. I feel pretty good about my current exposures right now. I don't think I have a ton of regrets. Maybe not buying the Dipperino on Judkins. I agree. Hurts in the 4th is just a mega smash. Oh, Chuba Hubbard faller. Yeah, let's go. Rizzy P or Igbuka. We'll go Rizzy P. Rizzy P. All right, we could do that, and then I gotta go pee real quick. You want to scroll the F down for Keandre Lambert-Smith?
Oh my fucking god!
I'm about it. I'm about it.
This is too good.
Someone slap the Keandre Lambert-Smith button. The first KLS reception, I was like, wow, he is the greatest wide receiver of all time. Is the 9th round too early for KLS? People are asking.
4.37, 40, played at Auburn. This is Darius Slayton vibes.
My thesis is at least not that he is Jerry Rice's kid. My thesis is at least he is not Jerry Rice's kid. I mean, you make a good point. I guess you can't really have, non-buyer's remorse on Judkins, because I think that by and large, treating things like the Judkins incident, like, because you get the victory lap people that are just like, dude, I can't believe you thought he was going to miss time. And it's like, well, I feel like a lot of the times the people who were big on drafting Judkins or honestly big on drafting whoever just are not thinking about the consequences of just eating zeros, even in round 14 or whatever, I think by and large, the types of players you want to be taking that risk exposure on are like actual league winning types, and it just doesn't really feel like Judkins probably is. What is the ideal limit set? I mean, I think like if I was auto drafting, I think I would do 3, 6, 8, 3 because it's 20 rounds. But I would be open to hearing maybe one more running back. The Davis I knew loved to plant his flag on Mount Zero. That is true. That is true. No one loved a good zero in 2024 like I did. Wow, Travis Hunter with the Q tag on DraftKings is massive. Yep. It's all up and down. That is why we have been drafting since January 29th. Yeah, if Judkins was on a team where I could see him coming back and just like being in a great role, scoring a bunch of points, scoring a bunch of touchdowns, like if Judkins was a Bill or a Bengal or something, I mean, you'd have to love him. But the fact of the matter is that he is not. Yeah, Jerome Ford shows up to work every week, and he's the one who just goes up and down. Yeah. Oh, imagine if Judkins was on the Cowboys in this scenario, it would be a much different thing. Yeah, honestly, that's a very good way to think about the situation, because the fact of the matter is, if you were buying the Judkins crime dipperino, you were not leaving yourself very many outs because he... all right, I'm going to try and pull this one off. I'm going to try and pull off the miracle here. It's not really a miracle. I have an auction this weekend with my hometown buds. Yes, you got to tell him. You got to tell him Travis Hunter is dead. Bang. All right. So through 8 rounds, we have Patrick Mahomes, Devin Achane, Kenneth Walker, R.J. Harvey, Brian Thomas Jr., Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Worthy, and Travis Kelce. Nice little team we got cooking up here. Yes, drafters deposit bonus. You deposit $100 and you get $100 in bonus cash. So that cash has to be used, obviously, on the site. You don't just get gifted a free $100 that you can immediately remove from the website. Rice in round 7 seems like a Giga Smash. I mean, I honestly don't know. You know as much as I know about that situation. I mean, we know the deal with Mixon is that everyone who is like 9 spots removed from the National Football League says he's done. I mean, if you made me guess, I would guess that Mixon is more injured than the team is letting on. He had an off-season, based on what I was told, he had an off-season foot surgery, and the foot surgery went poorly. It didn't heal properly. Yeah, in cumulative scoring, if he only plays 8 games, he's a terrible pick. Wow, BBG, my boy, the best ball guy, benched heavy instead of doing push-ups or other functional exercises. I'm very proud of you, BBG. That fills my heart with warmth. That makes me think that there's future for the youth of this country. It does. That sounds highly functional, bro. It really does. Yeah, Jaden Reed at 91. I believe he is already out of the walking boot, which is pretty crazy. All right, what are we going to do with this next pick? I guess for second quarterback, we've already got, so we need Lawrence or Purdy. So Purdy's available. We can probably wait on tight end for a while. We probably don't need Tyler Warren. No reason to take Njoku. We might be able to get Loveland pushed back around. Oh, Njoku just went anyway. Can you recap a strategy framework for this contest? I'm just in my second total points. Basically, Nick, on drafters, what you want to do is just take as many players that you think are league winners as possible. Like, if you think that Zach Charbonnet is like a total league winner this year, you want to take him a ton because you don't have to care about week 17. Teammate correlation doesn't matter, as much. It matters some. Like, okay, maybe take that back. When teams are cheaper, you will want to correlate them because they can all just collectively beat their ADPs. But basically, like, this is the contest where if you are a ball knower, this is what you want to draft because there is no pod luck, there is no randomness. It is just basically like, I think Brock Purdy can finish as the quarterback 4, and he's being drafted as the quarterback 12. It's a total ball knower fest, which I think is fun. I am behind at wide receiver. I do not want to take Cooper Kupp. Man. Okay, I'm going to take Colston Loveland, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up only taking 2 tight ends, and I'm going to take a bunch of wide receivers on this team. Yes, this is what I spoke incorrectly. Teammate correlation does matter more in season long because it's about teams outperforming their projections more than single game ceiling. Correct. Honestly, I would say yes. BBM is probably the best contest if you don't know any ball, because it gives you the greatest amount of money if you're right. Is Judkins gone already? Nope, Judkins is still there. 168.6. One thing I would caution you about with ADP risers, and I just almost did this when I almost took Keenan Allen there. One thing I would caution you about is in BBM, something like Judkins is like, oh, well, I'm actually fine taking an ADP rising Judkins because who's to say that the combination that you have with Judkins at 140 is better than the combination I have with Judkins at 80. But again, in this format, that does not really matter because the combo in and of itself is not that valuable. It's just the points that are valuable. What check systems do we have in place to make sure these apps are running the pod systems fairly? I don't. You think that Underdog and DraftKings are cheating you to keep you down? I don't even. What is their benefit? I'd love to hear more about that theory. BBM is not even going to be close to coming short of failing. Best Ball Mania will probably fill a week early before the beginning of the season. Maybe more than a week early. Best Ball Mania is 69% full. It will fill at like 2 to 3% a day. Probably. Maybe more. There'll probably be a day where 5% of it fills. Are the constant mental health and therapy adverse while watching Davis's stream from the future? That's a good question. Well, yeah, 30% away with 20 days to go. Yeah, they were what? They were 70% away with 60 days to go. It's just nature of the business, kid. That's how she goes. Yeah, sprint and marathon might not fill. Sprint and marathon might overlay. I could see that. All right, I'm gonna have to absolutely just eat some crap with these wide receivers. What is okay? So why would Underdog risk their business? You know, this is a multi-billion-dollar business, not multi-billion. This is a $300 million, $500 million business. So you think that Underdog would they would rig the pod system for the least important part of their business to filter winnings where they want? Why don't you explain that one to me? I'd love to hear that one. So what happened at the NFFC was that one of their employees... Hold on one second. I'll explain it. Let's do Tillman. And then I think I'm going to take Pop Douglas. One of the NFFC employees had basically this bad guy had a cousin who worked at NFC, and he convinced him to change his lineup. Yes, we're going to do Pop Douglas. So he convinced him to change his lineup in the NFC postseason Hold'em contest. So, like, I think it was like maybe Kareem Hunt scored a touchdown or something. I don't even remember who it was, but had convinced his cousin to change his contest. And actually it was the Ship Chasers. It was Peter, Corain, and Gretsch who caught them. And then they hired a third-party auditing software to come and check them out. I still play on the NFFC, but I don't blame anyone who does not. I thought they handled it fine. Yeah, BBM did fill the weekend before last year. I did get the Eliminator maxed, but I had to do it with slow drafts. Yeah, honestly, a crazy move by the guy who did it. Like, well, I don't know what he thought was going to happen. And the funny thing is like the cheating that occurred would not have been like, it would not have made him life-changing money in any way, shape, or form. So it was just crazy cheating. Is this the same user that was adamant colluding in a BBM? Colluding in a BBM draft seems like a very bad idea. But I guess me personally, I would not want to have my my account nuked. Ooh, 20 team. Well, 20 teams is nothing. I actually don't remember. You'd have to ask the NFFC people. Burrow Sniper's only wish is to keep that level of integrity for a contest. That's very funny. All right, Mahomes, Purdy, A-Chain, Ken Walker, RJ Harvey, Brian Thomas Jr., Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall, Cedric Tillman, Demario Douglas, Travis Kelce, Colson Loveland. We have some work to do at wide receiver. Two Great Danes or one big dog? Well, I mean, it's more money up top in the big dogs. So that would be me. Underdog blocked off my access to the app with some kind of class action lawsuit forfeiture agreement in order to play the other week. I mean, I don't even know what that means, brother. Class action forfeit. All right, let's do... I do probably need another... God, these running backs stink. We'll do Algier, just because we do need a little bit of ceiling here, although this team is going to go as A-Chain and Walker goes. I think my man could have gotten scammed by a phishing email, but, you know, you never want to judge. All right. God, wide receiver. So if I could just rewind this one back, I would not have done Kelce and Mahomes here. I am so dust at wide receiver right now. We'll do Wandale. Demario Douglas and Wandale on the same team. What could go wrong, dude? What could go wrong? All right, we have got Mahomes and Purdy, A-Chain, Walker, Harvey, Algier. This wide receiver room's not that bad, but it doesn't look pretty. BTJ, Worthy, Pearsall, Tillman, Douglas, Wanda. We're gonna have to do some scrolling the F down for some spike weeks. We are gonna have to find this year's Puka Nacua. And it is unclear if there is a Puka Nacua this year. Might be a KLS team. I am full dad mode with the PPR scams. Coker's a good one. Coker is a pretty good one. Yeah, I like that. He's saying Underdog wouldn't let him play without forfeiting his right to take part in a class action lawsuit. Yeah, I gotta be real, bro. I've never heard of that. I think you might have gotten fished. Buying the Slappy the Seal shirt. We need more merch. Yes, I can run the KLS. You want to scroll the F down for Keandre Lambert Smith?
Oh my fucking god!
I'm about it. I'm about it.
This is too good.
Someone slap the Keandre Lambert Smith button. The first KLS reception, I was like, wow, he is the greatest wide receiver of all time. Is the 9th round too early for KLS? People are asking.
4.37 40, played at Auburn. This is Darius Slayton vibes.
My thesis is at least not that he is Jerry Rice's kid. My thesis is at least that he is not Jerry Rice's kid. the Nez going, oh my god. And John being like, yeah, dude, let's scroll. All right. At least one more running back. What's the quarterback situation looking like? Where's Richardson already went. All right. I'll take the aforementioned Nicholas Chubb, starting running back for the Houston Texans. Man, someone has just been yelling De'Ami Brown in the chat, and I hate to admit it, but they are correct. Dude, I got an email that a Nigerian prince wants to stake my draft. Seems too good to pass up. Drafters is a great place for me to take De'Ami Brown because there's no such thing as advance rate, so people won't be able to check up on how bad my teams are. There are so many De'Ami Brown people. It's just you would never it's just everywhere. You turn a corner. You cannot go somewhere on fantasy football internet without meeting a De'Ami Brown person. It's absolutely insane. Dude, you just draft De'Ami as Travis Hunter insurance. It's fine, bro. Dude, no, if you think about it, you take De'Ami Brown, and in the weeks where Travis Hunter is mostly playing defense, De'Ami Brown is basically the wide receiver 2 on the Jaguars. Wouldn't you want to draft the wide receiver 2 on the Jaguars, bro? I do think maybe this is one of the things. I do wonder if it is a genetic divide. Not genetic. Generational gap between people who were playing daily fantasy sports in De'Ami Brown's rookie year and people who were not playing daily fantasy sports in De'Ami Brown's rookie year. I do wonder. Genetic. Come on, Davis, you idiot. Genetic. That could be my bit when I'm off work after my State Farm shift. The insurance drafter always drafting the players' backups. I like it. Your brain's working. You're thinking about bits. Dude, I actually had to forfeit my right to a class action lawsuit against De'Ami Brown, losing all my money. Personally, I like to take my insurance in style and get Greg to protect my Marvin Mims teams. De'Ami's few spike weeks. I mean, yes, De'Ami's spike weeks, the main one coming in the playoffs, has just let him live eternally in people's minds. Yes, DK Best Ball next week. I already have 2 videos recorded with with JJ Zachariason for Best Ball Week. I'll be doing one with Pat Carrain, and I'll be doing one with Neil Orfield because I will be out of town Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I'll be streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, of course. Bro, haven't you heard he was the first signing of the new regime? I mean, I swear, guys, how many times have we done the De'Ami Brown thing this offseason? Yeah, DK is going to be doing a bazillion promos next week. Marker, this is a Drafters main event, $20 to enter, $500,000, $500,000 to first place. You can check it out at that link right there. Promo code Davis. All right, Jalen Noel is actually a fantastic pick for this team. A little bit more Houston correlation. We're gonna take Ollie Gordon in round 18, bro. Have you ever asked Neil to help you buy something with his senior discount? No, but that's a very good bit. Yeah. It's the marathon draft on Drafters, which, to be fair, was on Drafters first. Dude, is Jalen Noel this generation's Tank Dell? All right, we are through 18 rounds. We have 2 more picks left. We have Pat Mahomes, Brock Purdy, Devin Achane, Kenneth Walker, RJ Harvey, Tyler Algier, Nick Chubb, Ollie Gordon, Brian Thomas Jr., Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall, Cedric Tillman, Demario Douglas, Wan'Dale Robinson, De'Ami Brown, Jalen Noel, Travis Kelce, and Colston Loveland. Yeah, same promo code on Drafters as the underdog banner up top. Promo code Davis over on Drafters. Do you think outside of BBM would winning the big board be best for your brand? No, probably the DK Millie. Probably the DraftKings Millie. I have an avatar. I have an avatar on Drafters. It's an old TakeCast logo, brother. I do feel like the big board is the ultimate ball knowers contest, though. That I absolutely do think is true. I think that it's only for the sickest of the sick. And let me tell you, those are my people. Those are my people. Yes, no one can name a DK Millie winner, but it would be good for me to say I won $1 million. Also, dude, do you have any idea how freaking sick my YouTube videos would be if I had $2 million to pay a video editor, bro? Actually am going to take Russell Wilson with Wan'Dale here and then one more wide receiver. I could hire the coolest video editor. I'd have the sickest thumbnails. I'd be able to do 7 days a week of just the gnarliest best ball content or just fantasy football content in general. Yeah, winning the big board would honestly feel more gratifying. All right, I'm scrolling. I'm going to scroll until I think there's no one who's any good. I'm going to scroll to... Actually, you know what? Reeves has been talking to me about this fella, Jermaine Burton. He really likes him. There you go. Final team on Drafters: Pat Mahomes, Brock Purdy, Russell Wilson, Devin Achane, Kenneth Walker, RJ Harvey, Tyler Algier, Nick Chubb, Ollie Gordon, Brian Thomas Jr., Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall, Cedric Tillman, Demario Douglas, Wandale Robinson, De'Ami Brown, Jalen Knoll, Jermaine Burton, Travis Kelce, and Colston Loveland. All right, boys. I'm going to get out of here because Soccer Dave and I, in 1 hour over on the Swolecast channel, are going to be doing a high-stakes fantasy football draft. $350. Zach, I would never... Here's the deal. If I won $2 million, Zach, I'd be able to pay you to be the guy. You ever think about that, Zach? If I won $2 million, I'd be able to pay you. Dude, if I got green screen is not the move. Green screen is what amateurs do. Review the Johnny Tufton team, second in total points. I gotta zoom out because the names are all kajumbled. Johnny Tufton. All right. My dude did Neighbors, Henry, Reek, Daniels, Hunter, Debo, so he's got the stack. Probably wouldn't have done Hawkinson, but whatever. Brian Robinson Jr. with Daniels, I like. Sharbs, I like. Cup is a pretty good total points guy. Lawrence, I don't like Stevenson. Yeah, I would have done Braylon Allen or Scattaboo over Stevenson. Pitts, Spears, Rashad White, Pat Bryant, Andre Yoshibas, A.D. Mitchell, Jalen Lane. Yeah, man, I think you got it. I think you understood. I think you understood the assignment, and I think if you drafted a bunch of teams like that, I think that you would do well in this contest. All right, here we go, Benny. We can do it. All right, I'm gonna give Benny a sauce. Drake London, Puka Nacua, Real Original. George Kittle. Wow, where do you get your ideas? From Pat Carrain. Ted Arroyo, don't call him Ted McMillan. Chuba Hubbard, a.k.a. the worst Isaiah Pacheco. Tony Pollard, maybe this will be the year for him. Justin Fields has been praying to the Bible that he can finish as a top 10 fantasy football quarterback. Jalen Warren, legendary upside ass pick. The slot demon at 108, buying the top Reno. Jaden Blue at 109, double buying the top Reno. Darnell Mooney, surely it's bullish that Raheem Morris said he'll be back this year. Bryce Young did not top 250 passing yards in any game last year, so you got to stack them with Adam Thielen. Zach Ertz, the kindest thing I can say about him is that he's younger than Travis Kelce. Xavier Leggett, man, you really need to learn about the Cokers. Sean Tucker buying the top Reno. Jarquez Hunter, surely this will be the year Rams backup running back works. Matt Stafford, did they take him out of the cryo tube so you could draft him? Tyler Higbee, the Rams tight end 2. And Tutu Atwell, the Rams wide receiver 4. All right, ACB DNB out of the 7 hole. Nico Chase Brown Hampton. Jamo Sutton Diggs. I was worried you'd be too far behind at wide receiver, but you made up for it. Montgomery over Aaron Jones, I think, feels bad. Bo Nixon Sutton, fine. Njoku, good. May, smash. Mims, smash. Kyle Williams, smash. Brenton Strange, I made that pick plenty of times. Guerrendo, Marks, Keaton Missile, love it. Slayton and Dart, love it. Theo Johnson, love it. Kareem Hunt, 234. That is a really good team. That's a really good team, man. You did good there. All right, boys. That's it for me. I'll see you guys back in 1 hour. This video is going to directly link to this Swolecast video, so you guys can go check that there. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel for daily fantasy football videos.